Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video, and today I'm doing my second preview and prediction, and today I'm doing Pool B, which consists of South Africa, Namibia, Italy, New Zealand and Canada. This is a very interesting pool, having two big teams in there, New Zealand and South Africa. That opener between those two is going to be absolute belter, and I cannot wait for that one to get underway on Saturday. Can't wait, that's going to be an absolute brilliant game. There's quite a few other games in this pool. You got Namibia versus Canada. It could be the battle for the only win in this group. Namibia want their maiden win in a World Cup. Can they get it? Who knows? But let's get into the predictions of Pool B. So starting off in last place, and the team who I think is going to finish 5th. Could be a bit of a shock, but I'm going with Canada. And now I'm going with Canada because they're just not that good. And you could be thinking, but are they better than Namibia? And yeah, they could be. It's one of those games where you don't know which way it could go. The Canada-Namibia. It's one of those are going to finish 5th. One of those will finish 4th. I think that's pretty much a certain. And that game, those two playing against each other, and I think it's their last game of the tournament, is going to be very interesting because they'll both be battling hard for that one solitary win, I believe, and I think Namibia will get it, and therefore Canada will be 5th. Now, I don't really know what has happened to Canada. From what I've seen of it, they've gone on a pretty big downward spiral, but they do still have some key players. Still have DTH van der Merwe, they still have Don Ardren as well. They've got some key players there who were in the 2015 World Cup, so I'm not too sure why or how they've seemed to have gone on this downward spiral, but they have, and it's tough to see because Canada, for me, are always a good team to watch. I do like watching Canada, I like them in a World Cup as well, it's very entertaining. But yeah, this year, I think they need to go through a rebuilding phase. They got in for the repechage, which was the last qualifying place. They want to do well in this World Cup. I don't think they will. I don't think they'll bring much of a fight to this group. Maybe against Namibia, maybe against Italy, who knows. But yeah, I just don't see Canada really bringing it that much in this tournament. But I am looking forward to when they play Namibia, because that will be a very good game to watch. Who is going to get a win in that one? That's a hard one to predict, but as you know, I've gone with Namibia to go with it, and Namibia to get their maiden win. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to be putting Canada in 5th. So that means in 4th, I'm going to be putting Namibia. Now Namibia, I'm going to be putting in 4th. Again, I think this is a very kind draw for Namibia. Their group, having Canada, who are on a slump at the moment, in their group, it means that they can go target them and go for them for that maiden victory in a World Cup. And that, if they do that, it will be scenes. It will be brilliant to see. And, you know, part of me wants Namibia to win in that game, just to see how they celebrate, just to see how they enjoy themselves from that win, because that will be something else for Namibia. And it's one of those things that I want to see, and probably other people want to see as well. But yeah, Namibia, I think Namibia are going to have another one of those tournaments. I mean, they came close to their maiden victory in 2015 against Georgia, but yeah, they're going to have another one of those tournaments where they will give it absolutely everything. And that's the fun thing about Namibia, they give it everything. They know that they're not the best side in the World Cup. They know they're not great, but they will give it their all. They will always go for it against the likes of New Zealand, against the likes of South Africa. We saw them play New Zealand in the last World Cup, and well, they scored a couple of tries and they celebrated like they won, and it's great to see. And yeah, I believe that Namibia are going to just enjoy themselves in this World Cup like they do in every other World Cup that they've been in, and it's fun to see, really. And I think that they'll get that victory over Canada. I think they've got enough in their locker to get it, and I hope that they get it to see how they celebrate for their maiden victory. And yeah, I'm going to be putting Namibia in 4th place in the World Cup. Now in third position, and who will re-qualify for 2023 in France, of course, I think it's going to be Italy. Now, I think this is a pretty obvious one, really. Italy in third. It's one of those, really, that is very tough. To have New Zealand and South Africa, probably the two best teams in the world right now, in your group, is something else. And they would have always been wanting to get into the quarterfinals, but with New Zealand and South Africa in their group, I just don't see it at all. I guess the fixtures, though, have gone their way. They do have Namibia and Canada first. They can get those two out of the way, get 2 bonus point victories, get 2 5 points, and that could put them in good stead. They can have good confidence, hopefully, coming out of those games, which they probably would have won well. Have that good confidence and maybe go on to give it some against New Zealand and South Africa, which will be good to see, because I think Italy are a good team. They've got good players, and one player to watch out for Italy, Jake Pellegrini. Brilliant player, Gloucester flanker. He brilliant over the ball, amazing player, great utility, and he really helps Italy. As well as that, they've also still got Sergio Parise, great captain. As long as he's still there, Italy will play well. And if he gets injured, Italy won't play well, but I expect him to be there throughout. And yeah, you never know, it could be his last World Cup, last few games for Italy this World Cup. So they might want to give him a big old send off. And yeah, I would like to see Italy do well, but I think they can. I think they can do well. They've definitely got the team to do well, but when you've got New Zealand and South Africa in your group, it's never going to be easy, is it? So I can't see a way out of this for Italy. They will give it their all. I think they'll beat Namibia. I think they'll beat Canada. I think they'll win those two easily. That will give them confidence into the New Zealand and South Africa games. And you never know, they could pull off a shock with that confidence. Well, one of New Zealand or South Africa could have a couple of injuries. They could have had a couple of bad runs. One of them will lose in that New Zealand-South Africa game opener. So one of them will have to be under pressure to probably win that Italy game, because Italy will be in there for the quarterfinals at that stage, probably. So, yeah. So you never know. The pressure could get to the teams. Italy could come through. And they're just... I don't think they're good enough to beat New Zealand or South Africa. And the fact that they're probably the best two teams in the world. Italy have been drawn the short straw here, but at least they'll re-qualify for 2023. Maybe they can go for the quarterfinals next World Cup. But yeah, I'm putting Italy in third. So here we go, up to the top two. This is hard. I still haven't really made my decision. I'm going to go with what my gut says on this. But this is probably one of the hardest pool decisions in the whole World Cup. New Zealand or South Africa. Who is going to win that group? I think I've made my decision. This is tense. And I think, I'm going to say it, I think New Zealand are going to finish second. Yeah, I said it. New Zealand to finish second. And why I think they'll finish second? Well, it's hard because they could obviously win the group, obviously, but you just don't know how that New Zealand-South Africa game goes. But really, I think South Africa have it. They just have it in them to beat New Zealand. They can beat New Zealand, and we've seen that. They've beaten them, then they lost to them last year by only 2 points, and then they drew this year in the Rugby Championship. So it's one of those games that could go either way, and I think for New Zealand, South Africa is a bogey team. And I also think that South Africa are going under the radar a bit. I don't really think most are paying attention to them at the moment. I think that people are saying New Zealand will just run away with it, but I don't see that. I don't see that at all. And yeah, so I'm going to be putting New Zealand in second, but of course, they have brilliant players. Kieran Reid, Bowden Barrett, Ben Smith, Rico Ioane, just names aplenty. Absolutely stunning players they've got. I could go on for days and days about their players and how much strength and depth they've got. But on the day, I'm picking picking South Africa just to pip them. Just to pip them. It'll be tiny margins, and I feel like New Zealand are also very shaky. They seem shaky at this point, and yeah, coming into a World Cup you don't want to be shaky. They did just beat Tonga 92 points to 5, I think that was the score. I'm not too sure if I got that correct. You might want to correct me on that. But that is a tier 2 team, and they have struggled. They're vulnerable. I think for the first time in a while, this New Zealand side is vulnerable. And it's time to pounce for the likes of South Africa, who are in their group. And New Zealand won't want to come second because it will make life so difficult for them, because they'll probably end up facing Ireland in the quarterfinals, another possible bogey team of theirs. They won't want to come second, but I think they will, and there's no real reason for it, but I just think South Africa will just pip them in that game. It could go either way. Sometimes I'm thinking, oh, New Zealand will do it. Oh no, South Africa will do it. Who will come first? Who knows? But I'm putting my neck on the line. I'm going with it, gut feeling. I think New Zealand will come second in the group. And then that means I believe that South Africa will win the group and will top Pool B. And I just love this South African team. They're going under the radar and they are absolutely brilliant. I think that they are definitely one of the favourites for this World Cup. The players they've got: Sia Khaleesi, Chesin Kolbe on the wing, Faf de Klerk and Cobus Reinach at 9. Those two, that is some depth in that 9. And Yanti's coming up now as well, the youngster. There's some strength and depth in half-back. And then Andre Pollard, the absolute game changer. He has been brilliant coming into this World Cup. Peaks at the right time, because he is such a key player for South Africa. He's good at the goal kicking, he's good at creating chances, and that is what they need. They've got brute strength up top, which is brilliant, and they've got that attacking ability in the back line, and it's that all-roundness which I believe will, but I believe that it's that can just take them to the top of this group. And as hard as it is to predict this group and the top 2 of this group, I think that South Africa have just enough in their locker, and that they're a bogey team kind of New Zealand. I think they have it in them, and I think they're going to do it. I think South Africa are going to top this group, and I've said it now, I'm not going back on it. South Africa will top this group, and that, I don't know if I'd see that as a shock. I don't know if that would be a shock or not. I think South Africa can easily do it, but people are saying New Zealand will do it. I think it could go either way. Whoever wins that South Africa-New Zealand game, the first one in that group, that winner will win the group, hands down. So to have such a big game so early on in the tournament is massive. It's almost like another final. So yeah, I've said it. I think South Africa will finish top of Pool B. Now they are my predictions and previews for Pool B then. And yeah, so I've put Canada to finish 5th, Namibia to come 4th, Italy to come 3rd, New Zealand to come 2nd, and South Africa to come 1st, and to get that top spot in the group. So yeah, they are my predictions for Pool B. So comment down below what you think on my predictions, and put your predictions in the comments as well. I would be happy to see what you guys think on Pool B. Please give a like, it would be much appreciated, and press that subscribe button as well, much appreciated. And anyway, I'll see you in a bit for the Pool C predictions. See you soon.